This week on the Pathways to Success, we're going to talk about Zig Ziglar's 6 steps to help you achieve ultimate success with Emmy Award Winning documentary filmmaker Andy Costa. Welcome everyone back to the Pathways to Success. We have a special treat for you today. Here I'm with Andy Costa, who is the Emmy Award Winning documentary filmmaker. Andy, thanks for being on the podcast, man.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. And so Andy and I have actually had sort of intertwining kind of relationship throughout the years. We actually at one point shared the same employer. We've kind of met for lunch several times, and now we're kind of intersecting now where both of our passions are right now.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure to have you on the
now
show.
a famous podcaster.
I don't know about famous, but yeah, the podcast has definitely changed my life. It's opened up a lot of different avenues, and that's kind of a big thing that I'm doing right now is following the work that I love, and obviously you've made a career out of doing that as well. So thanks for coming on the show.
And that's the key, right? That's one of the keys for success is to follow your passion. And this is what we're here to talk today about my documentary, Zig. You Were Born to Win.
You were born to win, absolutely. And honestly, I didn't know you were an Emmy Award winner. Like you don't promote that online or anything. And when I found that out, I was like, oh my gosh, Andy, you won an Emmy? That's cool.
I did win an Emmy for documentary filmmaker, 2013.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that one first.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Lap No World Painter. You can find this on YouTube. If you go to my channel on YouTube, it's Andy Costa Films. You will find the documentary there, Lap No World Painter. I went back to school. I was in IT. That's how we met.
Right. Yeah.
I was in IT.
You were training.
Yep, training. And I was a technical trainer and corporate trainer, worked in IT before, but I wasn't really happy. I wasn't fulfilling my life. I was making good money, but I wasn't happy. Okay? So let's backtrack a little bit. I think it's important for your audience. I decided to say, okay, this is not what I want to do. What I want to do with the rest of my life. Okay? So I hired a life coach, Brent O'Bannon, and throughout a series of exercises, and a very good exercise that I think that everybody at home can do this, and it's probably going to change your life, is the Jim Collins 3 circles.
Okay.
In one circle, you write down everything that you're absolutely passionate about. On the other circle, you write down everything that brings good money. And on the third and last circle, very, very, very important, you write down the things that you believe that you can become the best in the world at. Be the best in the world at. So when you find the intersection between passion, money, and skill, then you found your purpose.
Wow.
Okay? Passion, money, and skill. But very important, you can become the best in the world at. So when I did this, I saw a storytelling filmmaker and documentary filmmaker.
Yeah.
Right? It is my passion. I love telling stories through video. It can bring good money if you have the right strategies in place. And I know that I can become the best in the world at. And I apply myself every day in order to become the best in the world at my craft. That's very important. And I won an Emmy.
Well, when did you start doing video though? Like at the time when I first met you, were you doing video then or no?
Yes, I was doing
just kind of on the side and
no, I was doing videos for the company. Can we say the company?
Yeah,
name?
sure, yeah.
I was doing videos for Reach Local.
Yeah.
So I was doing training videos. I was doing some promotional videos. I did all the series about who's an IMC, who's a
that was you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I thought you were, because when I experienced you for the first time, you were the trainer. I didn't know you were the behind the scenes producer guy too. Okay, cool, right on. Okay, so you've been doing it since then. Okay, got it.
But actually, I've been doing videos since I was 12.
Yeah.
So I got a Super 8 camera when I was 12.
Super 8, you hear that? Yeah, wow.
I'm old.
Yeah.
And I started shooting videos there. For some reason, I started making money in IT. So I'm not doing this stuff anymore. But then in 2000 and something, when I'm from Brazil and I moved to the States because of computers, I figured out that, you know what, this is great. It afforded me to buy a house. It afforded me to have a family, but I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And the purpose in life is for you to fulfill your destiny, man.
Right.
It's to be happy, okay? Doing what's your God calling gift. And I wasn't doing it. I was very good at what I did before, but I was not the best in the world at. So when I figured out what my true calling is,
Yeah.
when I figured out what my path to become the best in the world at is, then everything started to work.
So what are these circles one more time?
First one is passion.
What you're passionate about?
Anything. You know, you're
Okay.
passionate about wine. You're passionate about dogs.
Yeah.
You're passionate about cars. Just write down everything that you're passionate about. On the next circle, write everything that brings good money. So grooming dogs can bring good money? Maybe not. Being a wine consultant can bring good money? Maybe.
Yeah.
So you start putting things that can bring good money there. And on the third one, which is the most important one, what can you become the best in the world at?
So how do you start to discover what you can be the best in the world at?
It is a self-discovery journey. And for me is when I am doing videos, there's no time limit for me. I can do videos 24/7 and I'm not tired. I'm not exhausted. It's exhilarating for me. It's exciting. It energizes me.
Yeah.
So that's what I can become the best in the world at.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, a surgeon. The guy's always reading about surgery and always reading, and that's what he wants to talk about. That's what he lights up when he talks about that particular subject. That's that you can become the best in the world at. Now, becoming the best in the world at is having the skills. Let's say that you want to play basketball and you want to be the best basketball player in the world at. Okay, first you have to have some physical aspects, right? And then you have to have your technical aspects of how to do your stuff. But most importantly, and I am very blessed to interview a number of professional athletes throughout my career as a documentary filmmaker. They all tell me that I was an NFL player or became an NFL player or an NBA player because I was not the smartest one. I was not the fastest one or the strongest one or the whatever one, but I was coachable.
Yeah.
So, and I can show you guys my interviews. They all say this: I was coachable and nobody was going to outwork me.
Yeah.
I was the first one in the gym and the last one to leave. And I would listen to the coach and how could I get better. That's what made me a professional athlete. Okay. So in any career, you have to be passionate about doing that thing 24/7, and you have to be humble so people can coach you and say, oh, I never thought about this. Oh yeah, I can learn about this. I can improve myself, okay? And that's when you know that you can become the best in the world at. It doesn't mean that you need to be smart. It doesn't mean that you have to be an innate talent to do that. But it means that you have to listen to people that are doing this for some more time than you and absorb that information and be humble enough to say thank you and use it. And that's what I did in order to get my Emmy. I went back to school to learn how to do video production.
What school did you go to and what program?
Collin College.
Okay. Oh, cool. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. All right, cool.
They have an associate degree for video production.
Yeah.
So I did this. I met my professor, Mark Kaufman. Thank you very much, Mark Kaufman. And I had 2 semesters with Mark, and I finished the 2 semesters, and he says, Mark, it's great, you're a fantastic teacher, but it's not enough. You know, I need to learn more. Mentor me, please, I'll pay you. It's nah, you don't need to pay me. Let's have lunch once a week. I said, fantastic, I'll buy you lunch. Okay, great. And I said, well, what do you want to do? I figured out that I'm a good storyteller, I want to tell documentaries. I have a documentary for you. So he mentored me to the process of creating Lap No. And he himself is an 8-time Emmy Award Winning producer.
Yeah.
Plus some 300 other awards. The guy is a monster, you know, in the good sense. So he mentored me in the process of creating this documentary. He aired the documentary on television, so he could be categorized as a winning contestant or an Emmy contestant, and he won the Emmy. Not because I am the best, but because I was humble enough to listen and to absorb and to apply what somebody that is much more advanced than me had to tell me. Okay.
Was this the first time you? So what is that process like? Do you apply to get?
Yes.
To get an award? Yeah.
So you get your film done, and then it has to air on some TV channel. On our case, it aired on the Allen City Television.
What is that process like? How do you get something to air?
Oh, you have to connect with a local producer. So if it's the city of Dallas or your local channel, Fox News, whatever, you have to connect with producer. Okay, you have to say, I have this piece here of material, or film, or journalist material that I would like you to consider to air on your channel. It has to air for a certain number of days or something like this.
In order to qualify.
In order to qualify.
Yeah.
And then you have to have this document, okay? And then you submit to the Emmy Association. Mark did this for me. I don't know exactly how you do it.
Yeah.
And you have the proof that it was a television show. Was aired on specific dates. And then it goes to a panel. They will look at all the entries, and they will select the final 5. And then they will vote in the final 5, and then they elect the winner.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you were able to pull that off. That's pretty awesome.
Pulled that off.
Yeah, that's great. And that was your first submission?
A professional submission, yeah.
Yeah. And then you got the Emmy.
And I got the Emmy.
And what was the category?
So it got an Emmy on Best Documentary Filmmaking in Texas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best Documentary Film.
Filmmaker in Texas.
No. Oh,
okay.
wow. Okay, yeah.
Right. But I also got the National Associations of Television Officers and Advisors first place.
Wow.
And that's national.
That's awesome,
so
man.
all television stations, government and city television stations around the country, they submit their programs to, and it won best place and first place in documentary filmmaking.
Wow, that's awesome. So I'm curious, what do you think are some core elements of a really effective documentary? I mean, you having crossed that bridge, you having created that result, like what can you share with our audience about characteristics of great documentaries?
Absolutely. Any great story, one, has to have a meaning. Okay, there's a lot of crime stories, or I don't know what else stories, that they're entertaining, but they're meaningless.
Right.
Okay, they don't add anything for you. So a great story has to add something. It has to bring value to the people that are listening. Okay, and has to be entertaining.
Yeah.
Okay, or else it's just an educational piece. So when you add value and entertainment, you have something that is award-winning material.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to do on all my materials. With Lapnil and with Zig, You're Born to Win. I got a lot of valuable material, but I put it into a way that is entertaining, that doesn't get people tired. And a lot of people want to think, oh, I made a documentary, oh, it's boring. It's just people talking.
Yeah.
Well, no. When you're making something that is entertaining, you don't get tired of watching it, okay? And you still get a lot of value for it. So that's the secret of success for making good documentaries. Is just making something that is entertaining and brings value to your audience.
Do you think you could make an award-winning documentary out of any subject? Like, are there ways to sort of theatricize the entertainment value?
Absolutely.
You think you can?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Wow.
There are several categories of documentaries. I don't remember them all, but the one that you just mentioned is the docu-rama, which is when you tell a story but you reenact the story. So you get actors to reenact the story while the subject is telling the story.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a movie. It's very expensive. Okay, very expensive to do that, but it's very, very entertaining. So, and yeah, you can make a great film about pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And true story. Okay, I was at Rotary. I was a member of the Rotary, and one day a guy came in. Every session, there's somebody presenting something at Rotary. A guy came in, and he was a rock whisperer.
A rock whisperer?
A rock
Like he
whisperer.
talks to rocks or something like that?
He talks to rocks.
Yeah, that's documentary worthy. Yeah.
So he said, oh, I'm a rock whisperer, and what I do is that I go to your farm or I go to your land, and I'm going to rearrange the rocks in a way that is more, it will bring the energy of the place in line, and I'll do this. And I'm like, okay, how lame is that, right? But he spoke about it with such passion, with such conviction that this is the best thing in the world. That we forgot that it's about rocks and we connect with his passion.
With the person, yeah.
And then people are like, yeah, here's some money for you, go talk to rocks, man.
Yeah.
Because it's not about the subject, it's about how passionate you're about to bring the subject at.
And I think it's also like, it's like a human story, And I think that's why people like documentaries, because it's just a completely different perspective. Like, what I find kind of mundane because it's my everyday life. Some people find interesting. Like, for example, there was a documentary called The King of Kong about like these guys that play like really old school video games. Like on the surface level, you think that's so boring, but then you see how enthusiastic and passionate they are about it. It's like you put yourself in their shoes, and I love that. It takes you on a ride. It takes you, on a journey with the subject.
And it's all about passion. Love, I think, is the most important thing in life, right? When you love a person, it's the most fulfilling feeling, right?
Yeah.
When you love something, it's almost as fulfilling as loving another person.
Yeah.
So, and when you're able to, there was a stupid joke. A guy is lost on an island with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
And he's, just there, and he's sad, and Angelina Jolie asks him, so, you know what? You're here in this island all alone with me, and you're not happy. And the guy goes, yeah, I don't have anybody to tell about it.
That's funny.
So you can be passionate about something, but if you don't have anybody to tell your passion about it, it's not as fulfilling.
Yeah.
Okay? So telling people and engaging people in your passion, that's one of the goals of life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one thing to experience the joy yourself, but to share it with someone else, it like takes it to a whole nother level, just in my experience. So let's talk about the new documentary, Born to Win. So first off, so some of my audience might be a little bit younger, might not know who Zig Ziglar is. Give us a little bit about who Zig Ziglar was.
Okay. Zig Ziglar was the top motivational speaker for 40 years. He was born in 1926. He passed in 1912.
2000.
2012.
Yeah. Backwards in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went back in time. 2012. He was born from a poor family. His dad died when he was 5 years old. He had to survive by farming on his own house and milking cows. He started selling peanuts on the street when he was 6 because he had a family of 12 brothers and sisters and just a single mother to take care of them in the recession years, 1930s, the big recession years. So no money, absolutely. He classifies himself back then as a little guy from a little town with a little dream. So just an average person. And he wanted to sell pots and pans. He saw an opportunity to sell pots and pans. He started selling pots and pans wherever aluminum, which is waterless cookware, in the 40s. And he started to do that, was extremely unsuccessful, didn't sell anything for 2 years. It was broke, in debt, beat down, not successful.
This is the old school door-to-door sales.
One-on-one.
Yeah. Right.
Very hard, right?
Yeah.
And then one day, PC Merrill, a guy that was a VP of the company, extremely successful guy, came and told Zig, I've been watching you for 2 years, and I know that you have inside of you everything that is necessary for you to become successful. I know you can become extremely successful. And just because somebody with stature spoke light into him, he said, I can be successful. The next year, he was the number 2 salesman on a 7,000 salesman organization. So he jumped from being average to being above average, from being ordinary to being extraordinary, just because he began to believe in himself. He had the courage to go and ask for the sale. He had the empathy and the passion to go and sell. And then he figured out, hold on a second, that's all it takes? Well, I can teach that to people. So he started to teach that to his organization, and then people started to increase in sales. And then he started to write sales books. And then he figured out, hold on a second, if it's all it takes to become a successful sales, can this translate to pretty much anything else in life?
Yeah.
And he started to teach motivation and became the top motivational speaker for 40 years. 33 published books.
Wow.
I think 5 or 6 of those are best-selling books.
C at the top.
C at the top. Yeah, one of them.
Classic.
And very, very important, most of his teachings come from the Bible. So he was a very, very Christian person. And a piece of the story, too, is that he was successful until 45 years of age, but he was going up and down, going up and down, going up and down, until one day Sister Jessie was a lady that came to his house to spend the July 4th holiday, and she got into his house and says, Zig, Jesus has been waiting for you for a mighty long time. It's time for you to surrender, my friend.
Yeah.
And he said, like, you know what, it's time. And he surrendered himself to God and became a devoted Christian. And from that point on, his career just exploded. In the documentary, you'll see that his son, Tom Ziglar, says that from that point on, he never had to ask for an engagement. Stuff started to come to him.
Yeah.
So his faith in Christ, very important. But his passion to help people become successful. And that's what he was teaching. And he was bringing stuff from the Bible, so very, very basic principles, proven principles that you can have anything you want in life if you help enough people get what they want.
Yeah, that's
That's one of his most famous
That's like
quotes.
the one that I remember from Zig Ziglar. Because if you think about, like, to me, he falls in the category of all the greats, like the Jim Rohns, like the Brian Tracy's, and all that. And that was one that has continued to serve me. It's like the more I try to help people through the podcast, through the different things, using my talents and abilities to be of service to others, it's like, although I'm not trying to get a direct benefit from it, I do anyway. You know?
You do.
So. Yeah, I think that's an incredible philosophy. So what are some of Zig's most powerful and influential philosophies that he's taught?
Okay. The first one is that you have to be willing to be a servant. You just serve people. If you're going to any business deal or any organization or anything like, I am going to profit from this, it's short term.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you go into the mentality that I'm going to help this prosper, it's long term. Everybody wants another person to help them, right? You may get a sucker that just wants you to help them. It doesn't matter, because people are going to see you. So you're going to see your character. Wow, that guy helps. I want that guy on my team. Everybody wants a winner in their team, right?
Right.
And when you have this winning attitude, I'm going to help whatever it is, become fruitful. Everybody wants you on their team.
Right.
It's just that simple. I don't understand how people don't get it. So that's the first one. Second one, he has a bazillion quotes. Just Google Zig Ziglar quotes, and you see all of his quotes. Phenomenal. But another one that it's very, very interesting is that a secret to success is to be persistent, consistent. You have to be persistent in what you do, and you have to be consistent with your results.
Right.
Okay? Another thing that people struggle with, I can never be successful. Why? Because you start working in apps, and then you go work on web, and then you become a database guy, and then you go sell cars.
It's like no focus, no
focus, okay? You can only become successful if you're consistent, very focused into one area, and you're persistent. Success doesn't happen overnight. Another quote of Zig Ziglar is that you can be an overnight success if you engage 10 years into the planning.
10 years into the planning, yeah. That's great.
Okay?
Yeah.
It will not happen overnight. It doesn't matter. It will. I don't care how much talent you are, it's not going to happen overnight. And if you make peace with that, and says, okay, I am going to engage into this plan, I'm going to stick to that, and I have a million stories about that. I am going to be successful. I'm going to tell one quick story.
Sure.
A guy decided that he wanted to create or make a household device better. So I'm going to make this household device better. Okay. Oh, okay. And then he started doing stuff, prototype, 500 prototypes failure. And people are like, are you sure you want to invest all your time into making this thing that it already exists? It works well. People just can go to a store and buy it. Are you sure you want to make it better? I said, no, I want to make this thing better. So he kept doing it for 2 years. He made 1,000 prototypes failed. People are like, come on, dude. You know, this is crazy. It's not working. So no, I'm going to make this better. So he quit his job to dedicate more time into making this already good household appliance better. And then people start really thinking he was crazy, you know. So you quit your job to invest time in something that already exists because you think you can make it better. Even if it's make it better, how do you expect people are going to buy your stuff? You're crazy, dude. Just go get a job. No, I'm going to make this thing better. So he kept doing it. He quit his job. He was now living with his wife's teacher's salary. Wow. Every money that he has, he invested in his thing. Long story short, he made 5,276 prototypes. 5,276 prototypes until it worked. And now we enjoy the Dyson vacuum cleaner.
The Dyson vacuum. I just bought one for my sister, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. That's the Dyson story?
That's the Dyson story.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bagless, vacuumless,
Yeah.
vacuum cleaners. It's I think it's close to $500 million company, just because he had the guts to stick, to be persistent. This is what I want to do. I know it's going to be successful. And he was. Bill Gates, same story. Thomas Edison. He invented the light bulb.
Right.
A reporter came to Thomas Edison and he says, "Aren't you ashamed that you created 9,000 failed lamp bulbs?" And he says, "No, I figured out 9,000 ways it doesn't work."
Doesn't work.
So,
wow. So it seems like a big thing that Zig was into was speaking like life into people. And I remember you told me, I think it was a story of he spoke to, was it an elementary class or something like that? And then they were compared to another group and then they became successful or something like that?
I don't remember that story.
Am I making that up? Okay, all right.
Zig had the I Can school program.
Yeah.
And Mamie Macaulay, she's in the documentary too. She was the one that created this program, and they started implementing it in schools. And there was a huge transformation in the schools just to apply this program. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's still out there, I Can. If you look online, it's the I Can, which is basically see you at the top for kids.
Right.
Okay. But applying those simple basic processes and steps, which is the 6 steps that I focus in the documentary, okay? Zig identified in See You at the Top that there are 6 steps, they are fundamental steps that anyone needs to take in order to become successful. And the first step is self-esteem.
Self-esteem, okay.
So if you don't have good self-esteem, you're never going to achieve your God-given gifts. You have to believe that, and Zig would say himself, God don't make no junk.
You don't make no junk, that's right.
Okay, so you are a winner already. Everything that you need in order to become a winner already is inside you. Doesn't matter your age, your skin color, your race, your ethnicity, it doesn't matter anything. Everything that you need in order to become successful already is inside of you, and you are a winner. You were born to win. So you have to believe in that first. The second step is to build winning relationships. We cannot do anything alone. We have to build relationships, okay? We have to create community around us, good community. So building winning relationships is the second step. The third step is to have goals. If you do not have goals, you're not gonna go anywhere. You can, the most simple example is, okay, let's do a road trip. Let's get into the car and drive. Okay, we're driving, right? We're going somewhere, but where? If you don't have a destination, you can drive the rest of your life and never get anywhere, right? So you have to have goals. You have to have a clear destination. And the most misconcepted thing about goals is this: oh, I want to be a billionaire, or I want to be a millionaire, or worse, I want to be happy. Okay, those are all good, but those are sub-products of your goal achievements.
Right.
So in order to become a millionaire, you need to figure out what are the steps in order to get there. And you can't just picture, it's good, you have to picture the end goal, but you have to picture out what are the little steps that you need to take in order to get there. Okay. So the fourth one, it's work ethics.
Work ethic, okay.
So you have to have a strong work ethic in order to become successful. And I think I missed one, but that's okay. Look at the documentary. You'll see all the 6.
All in the show notes, yeah.
Yeah. And the last one is passion.
Passion.
You have to be passionate. You have to have desire, as he said, Zig, desire in order to achieve what you want in life.
So I'm curious, obviously this is around the subject of Zig Ziglar. Like, what kind of impact has he had personally on your life? Like, why did you choose him to make a documentary on?
So in 1999, when I came to the United States, I was hired to be a developer in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, making $46,000 a year. I couldn't afford to live in the Bay Area. So I was living in Pittsburgh, California. Go look in the Google Maps where that is. And I would commute to Santa Clara. It was a 3-hour commute each way.
Wow.
But I had in my mind, I didn't even know Zig Ziglar before. I said, no, you know what? I'm going to stick to that. A lot of people quit and they go back to their country. I'm going to stick to this. I'm going to make something out of that. And that opened up the doors for me to listen to Automobile University, audiobooks. I started to listen to audiobooks, and then somebody, I don't know, told me, hey, you have to listen to Zig Ziglars. Okay. And I put Zig, and he has his funny accent, you know, this lower Alabama accent, and he's funny, he tells jokes, but he tells a lot of very interesting things. And he was the one that enabled me for a couple years later to be hired by the company. I was a contractor, to be hired by the company I was working for, which is today's McAfee, making $80,000 a year instead of 46. Now I could afford to live close to my work. They moved me to Dallas. They afforded me to get a house.
Which one of his philosophies do you think made that impact on you?
You can have anything in life you want if you help enough other people get what they want. I saw a lot of developers being very focused on what they need to do. Oh, this is my code. This is my little work. This is my little world. Nobody needs to know about this. I don't care about anybody else. I just care about me doing my thing, and I want to go home and go ski or whatever.
Yeah.
And I didn't have this philosophy. So, well, yeah, I did this. So look what I did. You want to collaborate? You want to share? You want to give me some input? It's like, wow, that's great. And I would look for something else. I would always be willing to help another department. And the company saw that, so like, this is the winning guy that I want in my team. So I was quickly promoted and hired and moved around, and that's the philosophy that I carry till today. Any project that I get involved, I look, how can I help you? Okay? Because I know if you're going to be successful, you may not want to help me, but indirectly you're going to say, just like Mark Kaufman. I praise Mark Kaufman every time anything comes up. Is Mark Kaufman is the guy that brought me here, and somebody's going to hear his name and says, "Wow, this guy is a winning guy that I want on my team." So it is not a philosophy that you're going to get profit from helping somebody directly. But indirectly, you're going to have people looking at you and say, "This is a winning guy. This is a helping guy. This is a good guy that I want in my team."
So as far as the documentary itself, then, definitely everyone go check it out, Born to Win. Like, what are people going to get as a result of watching it?
So, if you haven't read See You at the Top, it's a summary of the book, See You at the Top. I talk about the 6 steps. Most importantly, the people that are talking about the 6 steps are people that implemented Zig's philosophy to become successful. Dave Ramsey, a $55 million empire.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
The financial guru. He was broke, bankrupt. And because he implemented the Zig philosophy, he became Dave Ramsey. Seth Godin, the marketing guru. He was a failed, rejected salesman. But he says in the documentary, he said, I allowed Zig's voice in my head to become louder than my doubts. And because of that, he became Seth Godin. Rick Rusing, incredible story. The guy was born from a broken family, alcoholic dad. He became an alcoholic, a drug user, and suicidal. So he was just thinking, how can I end this misery? Until he met Zig Ziglar in positive thinking, and he said, you know what, I'll try that. Today he's a multimillionaire. He has a company in California. He helps people with similar backgrounds become better in life. Michael Ray Newman, broke in debt, today is a multimillionaire because of Zig Ziglar. Howard Partridge, born from a poor family, multimillionaire. It's story after story after story after story of people that become extremely successful because they applied those simple steps. and they were persistent, and they were consistent.
And that's, honestly, that was what I was really blown away by with the documentary. First off, the big names like Dave Ramsey and also Seth Godin. And what was really interesting to me was that they were all of Zig's philosophies, but they were all living proof of what can happen if you actually implement them. And there's commonalities of success, right? And that's the thing. I mean, it's like his philosophies continue to live on through things like this, right? So in the documentary, I got what the philosophy was, an example of it, and also how to sort of execute it.
Yeah.
And there really are, it seems like the way that you codified everything, there's very specific steps on how to create success.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
those are fundamentals. I think Howard Parcher makes a parallel about a basketball. He's a basketball fan. There are certain fundamentals that a basketball player needs to practice every day.
Yeah.
Okay, how to shoot hoops, how to do this. They need to do that every day. Those are fundamentals of the sport that if you don't have those fundamentals down, you're never going to be great. In business and in life, you also have fundamentals. And the fundamentals are self-esteem, building relationships, setting goals, having a positive attitude.
Having a positive attitude, there it is. Yeah. Right.
Having work ethics, and then being passionate. You have to work on those fundamentals every day.
Yeah.
Zig said that motivation doesn't last, neither does bathing. We recommend it every day.
Right.
So you have to work on your fundamentals every day. You have to build relationships every day. You have to affirm yourself that you were born to win every day. You have to think about your attitude every day. How can I improve my attitude? Those are fundamentals that you work every day. And by little, and Darren Hardy, which a CEO of Success Magazine used to be, he said that success is a combination of small increments that you win daily.
Yeah.
So little bitty of wins that you have daily will compound in the long term to be a big thing.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it, man. What else should people know about the documentary?
So the documentary is available online and on DVD, and I want to give you guys some free copies. I want to give away 10 copies of my documentary. So we're going to put the details
in the show notes, so 10 okay, cool.
10 documentaries. So 10 people will watch it for free, okay? And hopefully you will enjoy it and you will tell more people about it.
Awesome. So how do people connect with you directly? What's the site for the documentary? And help us kind of understand where to find you on social.
All right. So the site for the documentary is Zig, Z-I-G, documentary.com. So if you go there, you can buy the movie there and look at all the profiles of everyone that was interviewed. And you can see that there. On social media, it's Andy Costa Films. So Facebook /Andy Costa Films, YouTube /Andy Costa Films, Instagram /Andy Costa Films. You'll find me.
Awesome. Andy, this has been amazing, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for creating this amazing documentary. I've seen it. I highly recommend you guys check it out as well. So check out the documentary, connect with Andy, and we'll see you next time on the next episode of The Pathways to Success.